Once upon a time, in a quiet little village surrounded by green fields and tall trees, there lived a milkman named Ramu. Every morning before sunrise, Ramu would set out with his 2 milk cans, walking door to door to deliver fresh milk. He was known to be polite and hardworking, but deep inside, Ramu had one dangerous weakness: greed. At first, it was small, like keeping an extra coin or mixing a little water into the milk. But as days went by, his greed began to grow. One morning, while pouring milk into a pot, Ramu looked at the bucket of water nearby and thought to himself, these people can't tell the difference between pure milk and milk mixed with a little water. Why should I give them all the real milk? If I add some water, I can sell more and earn double. I'll be rich in no time. And so, every day, Ramu began to mix water into the milk. His customers didn't notice much at first. They trusted him. Ramu had served them for years. But as weeks passed, the milk got thinner and thinner. Some villagers started to suspect that something wasn't right. One old lady shouted angrily, "This milk doesn't make proper tea anymore. It tastes like water." Another woman complained, "Yes. My children don't even like it now. Something's wrong." The villagers gathered to complain, but Ramu smiled and pretended to be hurt by their words. "Oh dear, you think I'd cheat you? I'd never do that. Maybe the cows are tired these days, that's all." The villagers trusted him again, though some still doubted. Ramu's greed kept growing, and soon, he was saving a lot of money. He even bought a new cow and built a small house. He thought he was the smartest man in the village. One day, a royal messenger came to the village and announced loudly, "Hear ye, hear ye. His Majesty, King Virendra, is hosting a grand competition. The purest milk from every village will be tested. The winner will get a gold coin and a royal contract to supply milk to the palace." The entire village was thrilled. Ramu's eyes sparkled with greed and excitement. "A gold coin, and a royal contract. That will make me rich forever. I must win this." He proudly told everyone that his milk was the purest and promised to bring glory to their village. The day of the contest arrived. Milkmen from different villages came with shining cans of fresh milk. The royal officials tested each sample carefully. When Ramu's turn came, he walked forward confidently, his chest puffed with pride. "Your Majesty," he said, bowing, "here is my milk. The best you'll ever taste." The king smiled and handed the milk to the royal tester. The tester poured it into a glass, examined it closely, then took a sip. He frowned and whispered something to the king. The king's face darkened. "Ramu," said the king sternly, "this milk is not pure. It's been mixed with water. You dare cheat the royal court?" Ramu was shocked. No, Your Majesty. It must be a mistake." I. Silence. The king interrupted. "You have not only cheated your people but tried to deceive your king. Guards, confiscate his milk cans and ban him from selling milk in the market for a year." The crowd gasped. Ramu fell to his knees, begging for forgiveness, but it was too late. His greed had finally caught up with him. Days passed. Ramu's reputation was ruined. No one trusted him anymore. People started buying milk from others. His cows gave less milk, and soon, he had to sell them to pay his debts. He became poor once again, even poorer than before. One evening, as he sat outside his empty house watching the sunset, Ramu sighed deeply. "I thought I was being clever, but I was only fooling myself. Greed has destroyed everything I had. If only I had stayed honest." Time went by, and Ramu realized that living with guilt was harder than living. In poverty, he decided to change his ways. He bought a small cow again with borrowed money and promised himself never to cheat anyone. From that day, he began delivering pure, fresh milk to his customers. Slowly, the villagers noticed the change. One old lady smiled and said, "Ramu, your milk tastes pure again. What happened?" Ramu replied humbly, "I learned a hard lesson, Maji. I was greedy before, and it cost me everything. From now on, I'll earn less but live honestly." The villagers forgave him. They started buying milk from him again. Years later, Ramu became known not as the greedy milkman, but as Ramu the honest, a man who never cheated and always spoke the truth. Ramu's story reminds us that greed may give us short-term gain, but it always leads to long-term pain. True success comes from honesty, hard work, and integrity. As the old saying goes, cheaters may run fast, but the truth always catches up.